Michael, is there a way to produce multiple cues from one particular writing session?
Absolutely.
An easy way.
Yeah, frankly, I think that this is, earlier we talked about people that have 1,000 cues or 2,000, or like your friend has 15,000 cues in a library. And you go, well, geez, if I'm doing one cue a day in an 8-hour workday, that's 15,000 days worth of work. How would you ever do that? That's, what is 30 years? Or no, 50, how many years is 15,000 days? I don't know, whatever. It's a lot of
That's
years.
4 years, 4.5 years.
Okay, so the way to be more effective at that is to go, okay, let's go back to the example of the swampy, stripped down instrumental cue, something for one of those gator killing shows again. And you've got an acoustic guitar and a dobro, or your primary, or maybe your only instruments. So you've just laid that down, and when you start, you're probably thinking, what mood am I going for? Well, let's do something that's kind of laconic feeling. It's the end of the day. I've killed a whole bunch of alligators, and now I'm going home in my stinky alligator clothes to kiss my wife. Look, honey, I brought home a bunch of alligators. So you've got this piece of instrumental music that reflects his personal satisfaction. It's the end of a busy, hard work day, and I'm going home feeling very good about it and very satisfied. So you've created that piece of music with the acoustic guitar and the dobro. Well, you've already got the acoustic guitar in the room in your hand. You've already got the dobro sitting next to you. You've already got your compressor settings. You've got your EQ, your mic pre. Everything is set and ready to go. Why not think of another mood, another scenario? As long as you're there. Why recreate the wheel or move on to an orchestral piece or a big rock piece or something else? So frankly, if I were that person, that musician, I would think, well, I've done satisfied and kind of laid back. Let me do sad. I'm bummed out. Let's say that I didn't kill any alligators today.
Yeah. Oh, so minor key then, you're saying.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So a key change, maybe a tempo change. It's a mood. You're just changing the mood, but not the instrumentation. And maybe you play fiddle and you just want to add a couple little fiddle cries in there to, add a little more sadness to the cue. But now it's a new day for cue number 3. It's a new day, and I've got a good attitude, and I'm going out to kill a lot of those alligators today. So now you want something with a little more bounce in the step. Again, the acoustic guitar, the dobro.
Maybe just played a different way,
different
feel.
tempo, different feel, different key. It's going to be all major stuff in that case.
Sure.
Maybe add a shaker to it.
Yeah.
Maybe the way you end it is a little different. But essentially, you're not recreating the wheel. And I would think that you could probably do each one of those. The first one might take you a couple of hours because you're going to find your sounds and get your template set up. But the subsequent ones, once you get used to doing this in kind of a factory-like way, and I don't mean that to take anything away from the creativity or the quality of the work, but it does become a bit of a factory in a good way. You might be able to bang out 3, 4, 5 of those in a day. I find that a lot of musicians get very frustrated in the beginning of trying to launch their career as a composer for film and television because they overthink it, they work too hard, and they will spend a week or two on one piece. Nobody on the end user side of that equation really gives a damn that you spent that much time. They're only looking for the mood and does it work in my scene? And frankly, yes, there is a certain level of quality that you need to achieve, and I'm not just talking about the audio quality, but the quality of the mood. Did you stick with the same mood throughout? Does the piece have an arc to it? Does it have some forward momentum and feels like it's going somewhere so it helps carry the scene forward? So all those things need to be considered, and you get to a point in your career where you do that stuff instinctively. So once you're at that point, then you become a factory in a good way, and you could bang out several in a day. So let's say you do 3 a day and you work 5 days a week. You're doing 15 cues a week times 100 days a year, which would only be a little less than a third of a year. You've got 1,500 cues that you've created.
Yeah.
Now, maybe only 2/3 of those get signed by publishers, but now you'd have 1,000 cues. And if you were smart, you would put the cues in a few different libraries so you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And now you've got, let's say, 3 different companies working with anywhere between 20 or 50 or 100 or 300 of your cues. It's cumulative over time, and if you repeat that scenario year after year after year, you end up becoming your friend with 15,000 cues and a really nice income.
Yeah.